From the many prequels and sequels we have for Yellowstone to the many more that are yet to come, will Yellowstone 6666 carry the franchise legacy or ruin it? Let's find out! Yellowstone's a success, but what else is new? Series creator Taylor Sheridan has been living the good life ever since his Western drama was picked up by Paramount and became a global sensation. Today, 5 seasons in, Yellowstone's one of the most popular Westerns there ever was. The series has been praised by fans and critics time and time again and has earned the cast numerous awards, including a Golden Globe for Best Actor for ex-leading man Kevin Costner. Sheridan realized that everyone loved Keeping Up with the Duttons and decided to capitalize on it by releasing many spin-off series. The premise of the spin-offs is all the same: the Dutton family and their beloved ranch at various times in history. Again, everyone loves the Dutton family as we watch them in Yellowstone. And while some spin-offs have gotten equal or more praise, some of them have fallen flat too. 1883 was a hit. 1923's okay, I guess, and Lawman. Bass Reeves is awful. The only complaint everyone has about the first spin-off, 1883, is that it was a limited miniseries with only 10 episodes. The name probably gives it away, but 1883 was the first Yellowstone prequel, and it followed series protagonists Sam Elliott and Tim McGraw as Dutton family predecessors. The series focuses on how the Dutton family got to own the largest ranch in the United States. Sam Elliott was so phenomenal in the show that he even bagged a 2023 Screen Actors Guild Award for it. Sheridan probably thought he could replicate greatness for the third time in 1923, but it just didn't feel right. Everyone loved seeing Harrison Ford all dressed up as a cowboy, with Helen Mirren by his side, but the series wasn't as good as 1883. It picked up from where the first spin-off left off and followed the Dutton family as they navigated through Prohibition and World War I. It was okay, not bad by any means, but not great. Do you know what was bad though? Lawman, Bass Reeves, which was honestly such a letdown since the series is based on the true story of Bass Reeves, the first black U.S. Deputy Marshal. Taylor Sheridan had a golden egg, and he let it fall splat onto the floor. It's not like the series was panned by critics or hated by fans, it did just fine. Still, by the third Yellowstone spin-off, people just grew tired of Sheridan churning one series after the other. Which, of course, leads us to why we're here today. Is the Yellowstone franchise just chasing money with all these spin-offs? And what does the future look like for 6666? There have been a lot of westerns before Yellowstone, and there'll be a whole lot more after it. For now, it does look like Sheridan's going to be writing and directing every last one of them. The only problem is that he's taking a gamble with them each time. Yellowstone's done pretty well for itself and made the series creator a very rich man. Still, it doesn't make a lot of sense that Sheridan won't focus on any other project, besides spin-off after spin-off for Yellowstone. 6666 is technically another project from the Sheridan Mill, but fans are hopeful this time around, probably because of all the buildup we've seen for the show and the parent series itself. While the other 2 prequel series were based on the Dutton family at different times in history, and Lawman had nothing to do with the Dutton family at all, 6666 serves as an intermediary between the 3 series. Sheridan first hinted at wanting to create a series based on the famous, real-life Texas ranch, the 6666, in November 2022. Everyone pretty much knew that Sheridan was up to something when Jimmy, the Dutton family's ranch hand, was sent to live up at the 6666 ranch in Texas in Season 4. He was a Yellowstone favorite, and everyone knew there'd be more of him soon. Good intuition, because Sheridan eventually bought the world-famous ranch, all 270,000 acres of it in 2021. The groundwork's been laid out, and it's been laid out for years at this point. So where's the show? Your guess is as good as anyone else's. Episode 7 of Yellowstone all but confirmed that 6666 was happening when John Dutton instructed a few of the Dutton family members and friends to transport half of their cattle up to the rented space on the 6666 ranch. This group included Rip, Teeter, Ryan, Walker, and Jake. Plus Beth said she'd go wherever Rip does. Now that's a pretty huge chunk of the clan. Add on Jimmy and his fiancée Emily, and it's like Sheridan's bringing the band back together with the spin-off. Now, based on the cast alone, you can't say that 6666 won't be a hit. I wouldn't bet on it though, not just yet. You have to remember that 1923 featured both Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, yet it didn't do as well as everyone had hoped. Still, everyone's pretty pumped about the new spin-off series. If only they'd release it though. For something that's been announced for over a year at this point, it's almost weird that 6666 doesn't have an official release date yet. You'd think that it's because of casting issues, budgeting, or location issues. But the cast's ready to go. Budgeting most definitely isn't a problem for the Yellowstone family, and Sheridan owns the ranch. When faced with these facts, the Yellowstone mastermind claimed that there was a reason why the show had been delayed for this long. He reminded people that the ranch had real families and workers living on it, and he couldn't just bring up a whole production crew there without notice. Kevin Costner's exit didn't help much either, because a lot of people believed that Sheridan wanted the Dutton patriarch, in some form, to be on the show too. I guess that's out the window now. Next came the writer's strike, and it had every major production in a chokehold, including Yellowstone. It looks like Sheridan's focused on giving Yellowstone a proper send-off for now, and navigating through losing his leading man. The last thing on his mind right now is 6666, which is why the only concrete thing he had to say about the spin-off was that it was on hold. Maybe it's good that Sheridan's re-examining this series, since fans think he's way in over his head at this point. Yellowstone kicked things off with the Dutton family, as they navigated through the cutthroat world of cattle farming. 1883 was necessary because everyone wanted to know how the family came to own the largest ranch in Montana. Was 1923 that necessary though? Lawman, Bass Reeves wasn't, and maybe 6666 isn't either. At least that's what some users on Reddit had to say. According to them, Sheridan is way over his head at this point, and he thinks that the world needs more and more westerns. 6666 might just be the first Yellowstone spin-off set in the present day, which begs the question, isn't it just season 6 of the parent series with a new name? There's a lot of logic behind this theory too. 6666 has almost the whole ensemble cast from the main series, safe for Costner, of course, and it picks things up from where Yellowstone's predicted to end. That being said, do you think we need another spin-off? Sure, no one wants to say goodbye to the Duttons just yet, and when Sheridan announced that Yellowstone was ending, it felt like a gut punch. But 6666 shouldn't be used as a revival series, mostly because it just wouldn't feel the same without Costner at the helm. Now, we all know that the original John Dutton's gone for good, and he's too busy focusing on his self-produced Western to focus on Yellowstone anymore. You know what they say, three's a crowd and we're here talking about a fourth spin-off. But did you know that there are way more in the works? It seems like a cash grab at this point, because not only are we waiting for a release date, but we might also have another prequel series soon, 1944. The third prequel was announced sometime in October 2022, and was advertised as the show that'd answer one of the biggest questions. In Yellowstone's history, who's John Dutton's father? That's pretty much the main theme of the show, besides the Dutton family navigating through World War II. Then there's 2024, and the only thing we know about this sequel series is that it's been greenlit straight to series already. That's all. We don't know the storyline, the cast, or anything. Based on the title itself, though, you'd think that 2024 is a revamped version of Yellowstone, pretty much like what everyone's anticipating 6666 to be. So now we have two versions of Yellowstone as spin-offs? Since we're talking about spin-offs anyway, we can't forget about Matthew McConaughey's much-anticipated entry into the Yellowstone universe, which many believe is Sheridan's version of sticking it to Kevin Costner and showing him that he could have anyone as his leading man instead. But besides knowing that McConaughey's at the helm of a new series, we know nothing else. Nope, not even a name for this one. It's almost like Sheridan's announcing one spin-off after the next, making sure that we don't have to spend a day without being reminded of the dark reality of the Wild West. Fans of Yellowstone might appreciate Sheridan's dedication, but when do you start to say, okay, that's enough maybe? So, from the many more that are yet to come to the many prequels and sequels we have for Yellowstone, that was everything on Yellowstone 6666, carrying the franchise legacy or ruining it.